Ever since Tuchel's taken over, he's proven exactly why he is a man that most definitely has a plan. Since that first game against Wolves, weeks prior to Tuchel even being announced as our new manager, Tuchel knew from weeks back exactly how he was going to set this team up, exactly how he was going to get this team firing again. He knew exactly what the plan was going to be, and that plan involved what formation this team worked best in, how to reintroduce players back into the team too, and of course, how to get the team united again. And ever since then, you guys, we have become a team that are on the up. Right now, we're currently occupying a top 4 spot. We're a team now that looks stronger defensively. We're a team now that looks more resilient. And now, we're a team that have become a lot more united too. Tuchel, well, he knows how to plan for the future. And his plans don't just stop for this season. Already, he knows exactly how to take this team up to the next level for next season. And in today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how Tuchel plans to get us to those levels. I'm going to discuss players, tactics, transfer plans, and so much more. So I hope you guys do enjoy. Show your support for the channel, smash that like button. I want to get over 2,000 likes for today's video. And without wasting any more time, you guys, let's start off by discussing Tuchel's plans and how he hopes to get us to levels for next season. And to kick things off, you guys, straight off the bat, Tuchel's plans formation-wise for next season is to convert us back into a 4-1-2-3 team or 4-3-3. Now, the reason behind why Tuchel is not relying upon this formation for this season is due to the fact that he feels he does not have the right personnel to get full justice out the system, and for me, this makes a ton of sense. I've been saying for a very long time under Lampard's spell that for us to use a 4-3-3, the glue behind getting that system working, getting that formation working, was having N'Golo Kante. And when Kante is breaking down all the time, when he isn't as fit as he used to be, for many reasons, it becomes hard to consistently rely upon a system where the key integral part of that system isn't available every single time. It makes a ton of sense now why Lampard was really fighting hard to sign Declan Rice, and why he made a bid to sign Partey before the window closed, because to keep that formation working, we need to have the personnel in defence, and realistically, once Kante is out that team, Cover, Jorginho and Gilmour aren't the required personnel that you need to get the best out of a system like that. Now let's move on to players, and one player that some people might have some reservations about this season is Hudson-Odoi. Now, of course, it's not for his footballing ability, but it comes down to the new position that he's been playing, predominantly being used as a wing-back this season. Does this mean that we can expect to see Hudson-Odoi played as a wing-back throughout Tuchel's entire spell? Most definitely not, you guys, because for next season, Tuchel plans to have Callum playing as a winger in his system again. Now, the reason behind this is that Tuchel, whilst at Paris Saint-Germain, an issue he faced was that with such a potent attack consisting of Mbappe, Di Maria and Neymar as well, if you want to play all these guys together, which you kind of have to do, you have to accept the fact that that front three won't press from the front, won't defend whatsoever, and in modern day football, it's very hard to have lineups where players aren't putting in that same defensive work. So one of the plans for this season with Callum, in a sense, is to give him that defensive boost, because from next season, when he becomes that player, that key player that leads from the front, Tuchel has every right to consistently demand that defensive excellence from the attacking players, because if he's planning on using more attacking players for next season, they have to show that they can put in that defensive work. So this also applies for Callum, this also applies for Kai Havertz and Hakim Ziyech, and on top of that, Tuchel has given more assurances to players like Ben Chilwell, N'Golo Kante, Havertz, Ziyech, and many more that they can expect to play more from next season, and this makes a ton of sense considering that we have plans to become a 4-3-3 team again. So it seems like these guys have to remain patient. And to now end with potential plans for next season in the transfer window, there is some promising, exciting news. It involves Mino Raiola, an agent where this club has had some difficulties with. We've had a breakdown in the relationship, but things are looking a lot more positive for next summer, you guys. And that's because Raiola is seeing Chelsea as a great project for his clients, and it's a club that has people with knowledge. I think a big part behind this turn in fortune is due to our technical advisor in Petr Cech, who ever since he's got this role, we already know that he is an extremely intelligent guy, an extremely likable character too, and of course has that football prowess, that football knowledge that has been missing at this club for a few years in my opinion. Now, there's so many reasons behind why Raiola might have a change of heart in regards to negotiating with us. I think it's quite evident that during COVID, we've been one of the few clubs that hasn't been affected as much financially, and considering that we can afford to spend big in multiple windows, and considering that other clubs can't afford the same type of wages, I mean, for me, it's no surprise that Raiola would be willing to play ball more, considering that he has clients that are of interest to us. Players like Donnarumma, and of course, players like your Erling Haalands as well. Well, it's no surprise now that we've become a lot more attractive considering the manager we have, considering the style of football we can offer, considering we have the technical advisor role in place to delegate those football discussions, and considering that most clubs just can't afford to sign any of your clients. So that is some very interesting, big news to hear, you guys. And now, I have to give my thoughts and opinions. I think one thing that Tuchel has proven time and time again is that he is extremely meticulous. At Paris Saint-Germain, there were some interesting parallels between how he was sacked and how Lampard was sacked as well. Tuchel most definitely loved those mistakes, and one of the reasons behind why he knows exactly what he has to do to achieve success here is due to being able to learn from those mistakes himself. As I mentioned before, fitting in a team that consists of Di Maria, Mbappe, Neymar, players that just don't press from the front, force them to have to use 3 CDMs in a sense, and your Herreras, your Verrattis, your Gays, and many more. It was no surprise that there was a footballing bottleneck in that sense, but Tuchel has seen with the structures we have here, from the academy to the young players we possess, the players we've signed, and the money we can spend in the next window too, this is the perfect club for him to right all those wrongs and take us to the next level. Tuchel understands the power of timing. One criticism that I did have for Lampard before his unfortunate sacking was that, in a sense, he was forcing a system and tactic that was not going to be reliable throughout the season. As I stressed before, to play a 4-3-3 in the manner in which Lampard wanted to play, you need to heavily rely upon having that quality CDM in the team, and the second Kante is not available, then that system essentially breaks down. As I've been saying for a while, it really felt like we had 2 teams in one squad. We had players such as your Rudigers, your Jorginhos, your Kovas, your Alonsos, players that suit playing more of a positional style of play, players that suit playing under managers that give them clear, guided instructions, that give them those automatisms to rely upon in game. And it's really no surprise considering that we had 2 previous managers in Antonio Conte and Maurizio Sarri as well, who heavily rely upon that style of football. And with the other team, of course they can play that style of positional play easily, but they can suit playing a high pressing style of game, which focuses on creating mistakes in the opponent's half. They have the power, the legs, and the footballing IQ and technicality to achieve that. However, when you don't have those key names in the team consistently, you get forced to rely upon the rest of the squad who just don't fit and complement that style of football. So Tuchel comes in and immediately he has seen the issues. He knows, okay, the senior guys, they suit this style of play, and to be honest, if I'm going to rely upon success, I have to rely upon the experienced guys. And that's not to say that the experienced players are much better and on different levels. No, it's the fact that we have so many of them in the squad right now, where if Tuchel was to come in and not utilize them, then, as we've seen with Lampard, there is going to be disharmony behind the scenes. And considering that he only signed an 18-month deal, considering that he has to reach his objectives the club have set to get a top 4 spot, to get us consistent UCL football, and of course to mount a title challenge for next season, Tuchel knew that he had a lot to do in a very short space of time, and the best way to achieve those goals, to move on to next season where he can expand upon his ideas, where he can expand upon the football, improve us and take us to that next level, the full squad has to be behind him and he has to utilize them. It seems like this plan is definitely working, and it seems like it's going to help Tuchel even more for next season. Now let's keep things real. realistically, there's still a massive possibility that players like your Jorginhos, your Alonsos, and many more will get moved on in the summer. But now, when that happens, it's going to be a lot easier to move them on, considering the key part these guys are playing in the team right now. This will give us the bonus of being able to sell these guys on for close the valuation that we have for these players. And once we do that, it means we can earn more money from transfers, and it makes it easier for Tuchel to sign the key players we need. The centre back, the CDM, and the attacking player that can hopefully make us title-ready challengers for next season. Of course though, in football, this is a sport where things do change every single time. Maybe a plan that you have for the future doesn't end up playing that way, but you need to have guidelines, you need to have a framework, you need to work towards them, and it does feel like Tuchel is finding that balance. Tuchel is thinking about the long term. This season, it's all about getting and securing a top 4 spot, because once the season's over, the real magic, the real football, the real Thomas Tuchel is going to come out even stronger for next season, you guys. So on that note, you guys, I'm going to wrap the video up for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are prepared for next season. We're going to have a very serious and very busy summer coming up ahead, and next season, it feels like all the planning, all the preparation is going to finally get unleashed. And for God knows how long, we're finally going to be a team that has it in us to win this Premier League title that's escaped us since the 17-18 season. So for me, you guys, I'm extremely happy. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. Make sure you guys comment below. How do you feel about Tuchel's plans with how he's using the players right now? How do you feel about his plans for next season too? Are you happy with seeing us using a back 3 system, predominantly focusing on your Alonsos, your Jorginhos and covers as the season does go on, knowing that next season there is a grand plan to come? Hey, make sure you guys get involved, man. I'm MemeFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.